moving on to the Big Ten. Man, oh man, this one is just painful. Like, gosh, I'm gonna go blind. Like, goodness gracious, that ugly U that is next to the Michigan 10.5 line for you and Gonzo. Like, oh man, God, that is just brutal, man. Listen, you stood at the podium and you ate it. You ate it pretty hard at the beginning of the pod, but like, good gravy, man. That's like as big of a swing and miss as there is Michigan under 10.5 wins.
Shame on me for believing in Penn State in any way, because my logic was that they can't beat Ohio State 3 years in a row. That's not going to happen, despite having their easy schedule. And then Penn State was going to shock them. That was my logic, because they hadn't been tested up to that point, because the first half of their season was easy. I was wrong, man. They won the damn Natty. So yeah, I mean, credit where credit is due. Great job, Michigan. I'll eat my crow. Gonzo eats his crow too. Ohio State, you got to figure it out, man. Like, you guys went from being like the person who runs the Big Ten to being the little brother of the Big Ten. So you got to figure this one out. Penn State's like that annoying cousin that comes by, but like still can't really like eat at the big kid table yet. So I mean, hey, but now the Big Ten's gonna be really interesting next year. But let me just say this: Maryland over was something I was supremely confident in, but it didn't happen. And they started off so good. It didn't happen. Another one I was supremely confident in was that Michigan State under. I felt very good about that. I mean, when the lead singer of BTS is your quarterback, you don't have any chance in the world of accomplishing anything. I mean, Michigan State is in total rebuild right now, but we'll see. They did make a great head coaching hire, which we discussed. Shub, anything from this first half of the division here that you want to discuss from these totals?
Two things. One, thank God the Big Ten is getting rid of divisions next year.
Yes.
So this is the last time I have to stare at this stupid
that way Iowa doesn't
teams.
just by default win because like they're in a crappy division.
Two, Rutgers over 4 wins, baby. That was one of my favorite plays, and let's freaking go, Greg Schiano.
I'll tell you what, man.
Rutgers.
This is another one, man. That before we like recorded, I was telling you, like, believe it or not, guys, I actually might go Rutgers over. Like, I think it might happen. But then when the time came and the moment of truth came, I welched, and I said, you know what? It's freaking Rutgers. Under. It's 4 or under. And I regret that because I saw the potential there for sure for Rutgers to at least hit 5. I was not as bold to say 6 like you and Gonzo were, but 5 was so there. Like, I saw it, man.
Moving on to the West, so a few things here. One, I actually did pretty well. I went 5-2 in the West, which I'd say is pretty hard to do given what the West is like every year. But
the West is crazy, yeah.
Overall, we did pretty well with the Big Ten. All 3 of us had a positive record, and overall, we were pretty good results there for the conference. And listen, for all the crap that we give Iowa, at the same time, like, we still were over on Iowa. We still liked the team. Given the schedule,
it's a byproduct of who they play, man.
Right, but we were on Iowa.
The voodoo.
Yeah. So I'll take a victory lap on Wisconsin. I thought Wisconsin was getting a little too much hype, but I will say that's probably going to change.
And you were correct on that. I expected their offense to be so much better in year 1, and it was not good at all. So
I think that'll change moving into year 2 with Fickell, though. Like, he's too good of a coach. I think that's going to change quickly. I'd say we all swung and missed on Minnesota. I take blame for that because I feel like I influenced everybody with the Kaliakmanis hype.
Actually,
the Greek rifle hype.
I did not like Kaliakmanis, but I still went over because I was on PJ Fleck in their defense. PJ Fleck in the defense. True. Because my logic was, look at the Big Ten West. Look who the hell they have to play. I know they have a harder draw from the other side this year. But they still have to play like a bunch of. We thought Northwestern was going to be putrid. Purdue, like, even though I took their over, I was kind of there like 4 or 5 wins. Nebraska, we didn't know what to expect from them. We thought, they would probably be a little bit better, but probably not great. It's Matt Rule's first year. He's got to build. Illinois lost a lot of talent and had questionable quarterback situation going on. So yeah, I saw it as definitely within the realm of possibility that they could just defense their way up there. I mean, that's what Iowa does. And the Greek rifle, the Greek BB gun, I absolutely thought he was a Greek BB gun, and it turns out that he is a Greek BB gun. He is no longer at Minnesota. I forget where he even transferred to.
But one last thing for me, I think Illinois, I paid the price of going homer mode thanks to the dynasty on Illinois. I was reaching for the stars there. And then I think the elephant in the room has got to be Northwestern. Like, we
Dude,
were
they are
so
like
confident, and we
most.
picked.
They're
Remember,
the
we
most
did win
hard to
totals
predict
right
program out
after.
there.
Remember, we did this, and we recorded this like right after Pat Fitzgerald had
Mhm.
stepped down.
And we thought we were getting a freebie with that under.
Exactly, and that could be Eddie Moore further from the truth.
But hey, still
man.
positive around the block here. But I will say this, man. Northwestern is like the most difficult team to predict on a year-to-year basis. They'll go from winning 1-2 games in one year to going to the damn conference championship the next year. And then, their coach getting fired to winning 7 games and going bowling, man. I mean, outstanding. I mean, I never know what to predict with Northwestern. They are probably legitimately, I think they're the most bipolar team in all of college sports. You never know what you're going to get with them. I do want to take, I'm a little bit proud of the Nebraska play, that we all got the under on that. And that's because Nebraska, I think, was a little bit tricky this year because of Matt Rule. Like, we know how good Matt Rule is. But I'm glad that we didn't get fooled into that. We know Matt Rule is a builder. He's a grower, not a shower. And 5-7, man, 5-7. He's going to start growing from there. So,
oh yeah, I was about
I'm
to
happy we
say,
got that.
I think whatever the line is for Nebraska this year, like Matt Rule from year 1 to year 2, that's an automatic over for me. Like, I don't even know I don't need to know what the line is. Like, Nebraska,
And they got Raiola too, man.
That's going to be one of my favorite plays, I think, for next year. I'm assuming. But same thing with Luke Fickell. Like, yeah, I took the under this year because it's year 1, but like Luke Fickell year 2, Matt Rule year 2, like those are the types of coaches that you don't bet against year over year. So I think a lot of these are going to flip going into next year just by default.